In 2017, Caitlin Gooch, who calls herself the Black Cowgirl, noticed the low literacy rates in North Carolina. So she partnered with a local library to promote reading skills in young children. As a prize for reading, students received a day at her father's horse farm. It turned out to be a great success, which led to the founding of her nonprofit in 2019. Since then, called Saddle Up and Read, has offered children a chance to read to and mingle with horses, creating a whole new fun learning environment, something that's become even more precious for young children as they've grappled with a pandemic. Caitlin Gooch, welcome. First question I have is can I sign up? It looks
absolutely.
It looks so cool. I mean, it's just so. You tell the story. How did this start? How did you connect your love of horses to reading and kids' educational experiences?
Yeah, and first, thank you so much for having me on. In 2017, I had spent some time working with children, maybe about 6 to 10 years at that point. And I noticed that no matter what city I was in, there was always some sort of negative connotation the kids were putting with reading or doing their spelling words. And I spent some time actually researching the literacy rates in my area within like a 10-mile radius. And what I noticed that at every school, whether it was elementary, middle, or high school, Black children were behind when it came to literacy and reading in general. And I just thought, you know what? The kids that I work with, they seem to really love looking at the pictures and the videos of my horses on my phone. So what if I can use that as an incentive to get them to read and also get them excited about reading?
Have you, I mean, look, I don't know what happened, in December 2020, Oprah Winfrey, let me just read this to folks. Oprah Winfrey tweeted, "I'll retweet to help to get the word out and donate to your nonprofit, Saddle Up and Read. I think what you're doing is great. Getting kids to fall in love with reading and horses. We'll call with details. Happy birthday, Gooch." It's from Oprah Winfrey. And you just wrote, "I'm not even going to pretend like I didn't just pass out." I think the most important thing, it's great what you're doing, but I'll go back to the last conversation I had. Are you finding people calling you and looking at what you're doing and saying, wow, I can replicate some dimensions of that somewhere? I mean, what you're doing is so unique. I'm just interested in whether you're finding other people saying, wow, what Caitlin Gooch has done, so powerful, let's do it in Arizona. Let's do it in Chicago. I mean, are you finding that your show and tell is influencing others?
Absolutely. I have received requests from people in Alaska, people in California, all over, even South Africa. And it's really inspiring and motivating because I've been doing this, like you introduced in the beginning, since 2017. And people are noticing like, okay, you know what? I do have horses. I know someone who has horses. Maybe we can do this. Or if they don't have horses, they know how to get like stuffed animals and stuff, and they can get creative. So I've been trying to get back with those people because they also asked for like a layout. And this really was something that came up, overnight. And then for people to ask, can you help me start this? I absolutely want to, but I want to do it in the best way possible, especially for those who might not have the resources that I have just ran into now. And Saddle Up and Read is a 501c3 in North Carolina. So I can help everybody in North Carolina, but in the other states, it's going to take us some time. But there are people who are reaching out, and I can't wait to see this duplicated in different places.
One of the other things you've done, Caitlin, which I haven't seen it yet, I want to, you've released it's called the Color and Learn Black Equestrian Coloring Book, and it features 12 Black Trailblazers. I was talking last week to Lonnie Bunch, who's the president of the Smithsonian. He created the National Museum of African American History and Culture, and there's so much in that museum that I didn't know. But part of it is, raising history, kind of broadening the aperture of our understanding of our history, our culture, which includes communities, the Black community, and so. I'm interested in the 12 Black Trailblazers, and I'm interested in what the response is. I mean, because it's fun for children to find heroes in their past. How's the response been? How did you come up with this?
Well, Since I was 3 years old, I've been riding horses, and I was very fortunate to have grew up in a community of Black equestrians. And as an adult, I have met other Black equestrians who have never ridden a horse alongside another Black person. And so when I went out and read books and, just communicated and did all that with daycares and schools, I thought it would be a good thing to do something different for Black History Month, because we talk about the same people every year. And I really wanted to show that history because I didn't have that when I was younger. I'm just now learning about these people. And so with the coloring book, there are 12 trailblazers. I have read up on their stories. I have books about them. And I really thought that if I can put this in a coloring book and put it in simple text for kids to understand, they, they can research this stuff with their parents, but also it'll be something that is a lot easier to digest, because when we go to find the books about these Black cowboys and cowgirls, oftentimes the textbooks are like this thick and they're made from colleges and universities. No child is going to sit there and read that. So I thought a coloring book would be a great way to make it fun and to add something to, diversify coloring books. I didn't grow up having coloring books with characters that had like afros or hair like mine that I could just color in.
It's fascinating to think. And then, just finally, Caitlin, when you kind of look at how you're reaching kids, you're really getting them out of their space. So they're getting off, just what they did yesterday, they're going to do a little bit tomorrow. I mean, you're getting them out of their space. It's such a valuable lesson, I think, about education, in general, about getting people out of automatic pilot so that they wake up and, look at the world a little differently. Since you started this in 2017, so it's been a blur for me this last year, so we're like 4 years ahead. Have you remained in touch with some of those students that you had early on? Have you seen, has their engagement with education continued even though they may have graduated from Saddle Up and Read?
Yes, so in one of the very first programs that we had, which was partnered with the local library, the kids came in, they checked out 3 or more books, their name was entered into a drawing. And one of the kids that had entered, it was her very first time that year. And she actually started taking horseback riding lessons with me. And she has been phenomenal. Her parents are great and they advocate reading. And I know, like, they always just say thank you, because when she comes out to the farm, she's completely herself. We talk about all her dreams and we talk about the books that she reads and stuff. And then I have another kid that has grown so much. Even her mother will tell you that her confidence has just boosted by reading to horses. And it's so interesting because she will also tell you that she didn't feel that great about reading out loud in her classroom. So all of that has changed within 2 years for her. And it's just because we just allow them to be with the horses, be themselves. There's plenty of room to make mistakes. Horses, they're not going to judge. They're not going to say anything. They're not going to make any sort of negative remarks. And neither are we, because we really want children to fall in love with reading.
I just love that comment. Horses aren't going to judge. They're not going to. Well, Caitlin Gooch, founder of Saddle Up and Read, it's an honor to talk to you. I'm so happy we had you in today's program. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.